evening, friends. This is your host, Ijaz Hussain, in this podcast today with Andrea, of course.
Hi, Jess.
Hi. We will discuss about the people who are having a Romanian Permanent Residence Card or long-term residence card. Will they be able to work outside of Romania? And if they can, what are the conditions? And if Romanian TRC card is also valid for work in other European countries, especially in West. So could you please guide us in this matter?
Yes, and I think this is a very important question, especially one that Asian people. The idea with the permanent residence is as follows that it provides a full range of rights for the people obtaining the permanent residency. I'm talking about the one with the 10 years. For non-EU citizens. They are able to stay on the territory of Romania without having to renew yearly or at 2 years. They have a lot of rights, of course, apart from the political vote and the right to buy land, as we covered this in other podcasts. But what is in all their minds is how they can live to other European countries, which would be able to pay them more. And I'm talking here about Germany, maybe even Italy or Spain if they consider living there with
France.
legal forms.
Yes.
The idea is that the permanent residency, the 10 years, doesn't grant automatically the right to move, live, and work in another European country. Of course, there is an exception, and you can do this, but not automatically. What you can do is to apply in the country where you want to move and work for their European, it's called European Residence Permit, according to a European directive, and it grants you the right, based on the permanent residency that you obtain here in Romania, to work there. But you need to obtain this document. Another thing that's very important for our listeners to know is that if they decide to do this and move to another European country, in order for them not to lose the permanent residency card, the rights that this card gives you, you have the obligation to not be out of Romania for more than 12 months.
Okay.
You lose the right.
From the start, you started talking about the one with the 10 years.
Yes.
So the basic questions for the people who do not understand what is the difference between permanent residence of 5 years validity and 10 years validity.
The difference, of course, one you can obtain based on work scope, and another one based on family reunification scope.
Okay. So for example, let's take one by one.
Okay.
Okay. First, we talk about the one in the case of a foreigner comes to Romania, works
Okay.
for 5 years,
Okay.
makes himself eligible to
Yes.
apply for permanent residence.
This also is not usable in terms of relocating to Germany, for instance, and having a job based on this document. So permanent residency, that's called Romanian permanent residency.
Exactly.
To be permanent in Romania, not to be permanent in another European country. So either if we are talking about the 5 years or the 10 years, you can't use it to move permanently and work in another European country. You have to stay in Romania. But if you choose to do this, you have to check the legislation of the country where you are going to relocate and obtain the proper documentation. Without it, as mentioned, you don't obtain automatically the right to live and work in another European country.
Yes, it's very clear. But what is the difference between 5 years permanent residence and 10 years permanent
Apart
residence?
from the 5 years difference
Yes.
between them.
Yes, but why is it like this? What kind of people are getting 5 years permanent residence and what kind of people are getting
To
with
be honest,
10 years?
as far as I know, and this is my opinion, the difference is if we are talking about work and family, this is the first difference, scope, and another one if we are talking about highly qualified employees or non-qualified employees. This is what makes the difference between the two categories. And of course, in order to have the 10 years permanent residency, you initially have to have the 5 years permanent residence. See. So you can't avoid having the 5 years permanent residency and skip it to the 10 years permanent residency. You
So
have to have it first.
So the first step is to get permanent
Yes.
residence of 5 years validity.
Yes.
And then
Of
on the
course.
base of your skills or on the base of your family
Yes.
here in Romania,
Yes.
family ties, of course, being after marrying a Romanian.
Exactly. Only in concern of marriage to a Romanian.
Then you get permanent residence valid for 10 years.
Yes. And also don't forget about the language requirements, because you need them for the interviews for both permanent residencies.
Okay, once somebody already have a permanent residence of 5 years, that person marries a Romanian woman or a Romanian man if it's a female marrying foreigner marrying a Romanian man. In that case, permanent residence is already gotten on the base of interview.
Yes, but you still have to take another interview, because the conditions are harder for the 10.
So
because of the difference in terms of the rights, as mentioned, only with the one for 10 years, you can go to another European country and convert or add to the residency that you have another form of residence from the country or where you want to go, and this way you are able to work there. Understand? So it's basically something that is connected. Only with the 10 years permanent residency you can go to Germany, for instance, and obtain this European residence card and work there.
So Romanian Permanent Residence Card can help
yes,
people to relocate to Western Europe countries.
Yes, but from my experience, rarely did I see people obtaining the 10 years permanent residency and leave Romania. Because if they already obtained the 10 years permanent residency, they are already integrated here. They have a very stable job, most probably more than the average. They are married or divorced, or I don't know, something in connection to a Romanian. They have assets here.
Or they have a kid from a Romanian
woman. Or they have
woman.
kids. They rarely leave. Those that are thinking, because people that are listening, they need to understand one thing. What's their main goal? Is their main goal to make a living here in Romania? Well, for this you don't need a permanent residency, 10 years. Of course it makes your life easier, but it doesn't necessarily, it's not mandatory. It's the same with the 5 years permanent residency. It makes your life easier, but it's not a tragedy if you are not able to learn Romanian language. You can still renew your residence permits. If I am to be honest, between the 5 years permanent residency and 10 years permanent residency, I would encourage people to go and take the 5 years, because this allows you not to have to renew all the time. And you have the same rights of living, traveling inside Europe, okay, as a Romanian. So you are not conditioned to have a job daily. You cannot have a job and still have the permanent residency, as long as you have other means of support, financial support. So I would believe that efforts must be put in terms of the 5 years permanent residency, if their plan is to continue to stay here in Romania. If they think that they have a chance outside of Romania with a permanent residency, they must evaluate whether, if they are going to leave Romania to go to another European country like Germany, will they come back on an, I don't know, often enough time so that they don't lose the permanent residency here, or they want to use it just to be able to go in another country and make a living there. It's important for them to understand what is needed, and of course why I'm always talking in general in podcasts, because every person has a different situation.
Exactly.
So they should check with a professional prior to engaging into any measure, you know.
Yes. For example, in my case, if I have a Romanian permanent residence and I decide to convert my Romanian permanent residence into Western European country TRC card, I will not be stupid enough to leave Romanian permanent residency.
Exactly.
Because
to lose it, because it took a lot of time and efforts to obtain it.
Exactly. So I will take all the measures that I continue my permanent residency from Romania
Mm-hmm.
plus TRC from there, whatever the conditions are on the
Exactly.
rest of that.
Exactly.
And another question that comes up with this, for example, a person gets permanent residence here in Romania. Of course, after 3 years, they will be eligible to apply for Romanian nationality.
3 years.
Yes, 3 years, correct.
Why do you say 3 years? I'm curious. Do
To
you
have
refer to the ones that are married?
no, for example, 5 years for them to take permanent residence.
Ah, yes, another three to...
Another 3 years.
Ah, okay, okay,
So
I
because
understand.
we are talking about permanent residency.
Yes,
right now.
I understand now.
So they need to complete 3 more years to
Yes.
become eligible to apply.
If they are not married to a Romanian, that would make their life easier. Because it's 5 years rule for citizenship through marriage.
Yes, but how many have this chance, this kind of opportunity to marry a Romanian woman and to
Yes.
reduce this time period?
Or
Because
men.
yes, you know, there are, let's say, about
Less,
10%,
less,
10% of the
less
whole population
clients
have this.
come from this area, yes.
Exactly. So many people ask me this question that, okay, they get the permanent residence from Romania, they want to move to Western Europe, but will they be able to get, if they continue their permanent residency here in Romania, one day Romanian nationality, living in Germany, Spain or France?
Yes, it's important that I already mentioned that for the permanent residency, with the 10 years, if you stay out of Romania more than 1 year, you lose the right on that permanent residency.
Yes.
Okay, this is clarified. When we are talking about citizenship, this has different rules. It's stricter. Citizenship by request is granted not because the Romanian government is obliged to grant citizenship to you by request, but only after checking whether there is an interest, a real connection between you and Romania, and if you deserve to have Romanian citizenship. So it's not granted automatically just because you meet the years condition. If you leave after the 5 years, let's say you leave, I doubt that you will obtain the Romanian citizenship because every entry, every exit will be registered at the police, the frontier police, at the immigration office in the database, and they will check that you stayed out of Romania for more than, let's say, 6 months or for more than out of 1 year. That means that your ties to Romania are questionable. And now that the rules are stricter and stricter, I do suggest people that want to remain having this citizenship application with a positive resolution, remain until it is solved.
I remember very well when I was eligible to apply for my for my nationality. I was in Pakistan.
Okay.
It was right after the COVID. Something like this. So I was working online. My job was. I could afford to pay. I could afford to work from Pakistan and get paid from Romania.
Yes.
So I said, okay, let's take advantage of it and work from Pakistan and stay with the family here. And I stayed there less 3 months. Then some people asked me, did you move to Pakistan? I said, no, I'm here, but I'm still working there because I can work online. And they said, okay. And the ones who are really concerned with the fact that I wanted to apply for Romanian citizenship, they called me and they said, you're making a mistake here. You should go to Romania as quick as possible because your time period is counted.
Yes.
As much as you live outside, doesn't matter your taxes are being paid.
No.
In Romania, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at all. In Romania, paying taxes doesn't influence at all obtaining Romanian citizenship. Sometimes, as professionals, we would wish that the Romanian government and the National Citizenship Authority would charge money from the clients for the applications. No, not necessarily. Now they are charging that tax of 90 RON, 90, which is nothing. But the reality is that when people apply for citizenship, if they don't stay afterwards in Romania, they should pay something because you obtained the rights of having a European citizenship. This should come also with some obligations. If you are a citizen without domicile here in Romania, you don't pay nothing.
Exactly.
So That's why maybe they are not necessarily encouraged to grant that many citizenships, because also there is no financial benefit from it. If there were a financial benefit, maybe they would be more relaxed.
No, for example, if a person has a good business, a job that can